Hello, Tamily. It is time for episode 125 of Ask Tamily. And our guest today is Maggie. Her Instagram name is Debate Champ. She will be joining us in just a moment. She's one of our most timely Ask Tamily stars. Hi, Maggie.
Hello!
I'm so excited to interview you today.
Excited to be.
Thanks for being interview 125.
I'm honored to be here.
Well, we have a lot of questions planned for you, but we are also going to take live questions from the chat.
Okay. I'm up for it. Django's excited. I'm excited. Let's do this.
Yay!
Yeah.
So while everybody types in whatever they want to ask in the chat, let's start with, when did you start the Tracy Anderson method?
Okay. I started Tracy Anderson method in October of 2019.
Okay.
My 15th month. I feel like I'm like a 2-year-old, right? You like counted still.
Yeah.
I'm a group fitness instructor for many years, and then like all of a sudden I was just completely. Are we allowed to swear? What are your thoughts about swearing?
Yeah, you can swear.
Okay, so like YouTube won't like be mad about that?
No.
Okay.
They only care if you play copyrighted music. You can say fuck as much as you want to.
All right, good. Oh, that's good. That's on brand for me. I was just all of a sudden, after like I think it was like 7 or 8 years, I was just completely over it. I was tired of lifting heavy things. I was tired of counting intervals. I just wanted something completely different. And I looked around and I found the Tamily and I found Tracy Anderson method and I fell in love.
So since you started it 15 months ago, have you been consistent the whole time? Or did you have any, on again, off again experience?
I come from meaty peasant stock. My ancestors were good. They excelled at picking potatoes and holding on to calories. Like that's what they were awesome at. So I have to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll explain, I think probably later in the interview, the other reason why I have to work out other than my vanity. But no, I just, I haven't looked back at all. And that's mostly because of, the thing I'll talk about later maybe, and the Tamily.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I go anywhere else?
I feel the same exact way. But, for someone who has done other fitness methods, there's things about this method that are so different. Like, was there anything that was a challenge or something you really had to get used to?
Tam is incredible. You move your own body weight. I really love that. We roll around on the ground, we stand up, we kneel down, we transfer our weight. You can do it anywhere, anytime. Yeah. You change your movements every week, which I think is so healthy to do. No one is yelling at you.
Yeah.
No one is yelling at me about how many more reps I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's like an age thing. I'm 48, but like, don't fucking yell at me. Like, I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah.
And then I think the real difference, to answer your question, is that Tracy knows what she's doing. We hit all the recommended health markers. We hit cardiovascular health, muscular strength, weight bearing, meditation through movement, because she's not yelling at us.
Mm-hmm.
Find something else that does that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I need to move. I need to move regularly.
Well, we already have some comments in the chat. Johnny thinks that you look pretty darn good for 48, so I'm just going to share that. And Dad asked...
The most important thing out of the way, Suzanne. I am wearing Elson by Pat McGrath Labs.
Hmm.
Just so you all know.
Yeah, that's the secret. That and Tam.
And right. Yeah. And not taking yourself too seriously.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh, that's the secret to life. Deb or Tam Menopausal also has a question. She said, what's the story behind your nickname, Debate Champ?
Oh, so when I do a lot of my work, I'm a brand strategist, and I do my work. You have to be on social media and you have to be engaged on platforms for my job because I'm self-employed and I'm always looking for new customers and clients. So I wanted something that didn't reflect my actual name. My account is private and I want to keep it that way because it doesn't work for me for it to be public at this point. I may change that at some point, but I don't think so. So I needed a name that wasn't my name, and I needed a name that was unusual because all of the usual ones have already been taken. So I just started thinking about me because I still wanted it to be like me. And I am a debate champion.
Like legitimately?
Yeah. Like I was state debate champion in high school 3 years in a row.
Wow.
So I don't know why that popped into my head, debate champ, but it did. And then when I'm like, there's no way that one's not taken. It's so short and concise. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't taken, and I was like, that's it, dang.
That's fantastic. Who knew it was real?
Yeah, it's real. It's real.
That's awesome. So were you using Instagram before the Tamily?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm in, branding is market-led marketing. So I manage social media channels for many clients for many years. And so I spend a lot of time online. Not as much these days, but I definitely did. Yeah.
So how did you discover the Tamily?
How did I was thinking about that, and I think it was just because I was on Instagram. It was like my chosen platform. It's the platform I love the most. And I think I just started, I looked at her account when I started doing Tracy Anderson Method, and then I found Tamily somehow, and then can we get to the question where you ask who inspires me?
Absolutely.
But no, I'm sorry. You're in charge.
So Maggie, I was wondering who inspires you in the Tamily.
Thank you so much for that profound question, Suzanne. Okay, I always said that if I was ever first of all, like I have been like stalking everyone who's ever been interviewed on Ask Tamily, plus you and Nicole. And I always said that if I was ever on Ask Tamily, I would thank the people who welcomed me, who chose to welcome me and support me when they did not. Mm-hmm. They went out of their way to help me, to welcome me, to introduce me to others, to support me when I was, having like a, are you kidding me moment? So can I thank them now?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to thank, these are the 4 people who welcomed me first.
Okay.
Emily.
Okay.
Made Attain look so easy, right?
Yeah.
One of the nicest human beings on the planet. Kristen. Mm. What can we say about Kristen other than you just can't help but adore her. Susan Rothman.
Yeah.
So nice and welcoming. And then, of course, Kathy likes to sell dance cardio like it's crack.
Right.
She went out of her way to welcome me. It meant the world to me. So those 4, I wanted to.
Wonderful. And
then I want to give, I think since March, I think all of our lives obviously have been incredibly changed and touched. And there's one person in the Tamily who's made all of our lives so much better. She's our Zoom mama, Michelle.
Yeah.
I mean, how many hours?
Yeah. Hours of coordinating every available Zoom session in every time zone on Earth.
Yes. So special love goes out
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's a great list, Maggie. I'm glad I asked you that question. Um, so, since you have been doing the method for 15 months and most of them have been in quarantine, I imagine that you have not yet visited a studio.
And I don't know if I ever would. It seems so intimidating. And, the summer months when I was working out on the back porch and it was, I had maybe, like 90 degrees and, decent humidity. It felt like oppressive and like not, I don't know, not enjoyable to me. So I'll never say never, but I sweat profusely anyway. So I have not been to a studio, and I've never had the pleasure of meeting any staff or Tracy.
Do you use heat and humidity when you work out inside?
No, not at all.
Okay. So, in the past 15 months since you've been doing the method, what kind of results have you seen physically and non-physically?
My husband says he sees physical results. I'm hopeful to see physical results, but I haven't really seen any yet.
Okay.
I'm here for Tamily, and I'm here for the endorphins.
Mm-hmm.
I suffer from a mental illness, and I use that word on purpose to try to destigmatize the word. And I'm not real comfortable sharing this, but I'm going to, and hope that it helps at least one person. I have found over the years of treating the disease I have, that working out for 1 hour a day has the effect of stabilizing my mood like nothing else. Mm-hmm. So in conjunction with medication and monitoring by doctors, if I move my body for an hour a day, 5 to 6 days a week, I'm able to keep my symptoms at a minimum, which allows me to be a human being, which is really great. And recently, this was reconfirmed for me when Thanksgiving, I took 3 days off working out, which is very, very unusual for me. And I felt it. And it was like, okay, all right. I was like, okay, I got it. Message received, reverse. So I can't recommend it highly enough for that reason, that there's something about moving your body for however long you're able to that can be really, 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 really powerful in terms of just your ability to have a state, be like a normal human being.
Right. To just be able to handle life. Like, honestly, when it comes to any medical, physical, mental, any ailment whatsoever, movement is at least helpful, if not possibly a flat out cure. But we don't put that focus into that. It improves the processing in your brain.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I ended up being a group fitness instructor, was because I was, okay, well, that'll just be my workout workaround. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but like, I'm kind of comfortable in front of a room.
Yes.
That's how I came to working out. But I knew that when I was just done being a fitness instructor, that I had to continue. It's not an option. And I was so grateful. I forget what it was. I think Tracy was it was like an interview for a magazine, and someone said, "What are you tired of people asking you?" And she said, "I'm tired of people asking me when I'm going to retire. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life." And I literally wept with joy. I was like, "Oh, thank God, she's not going to stop."
Yeah, exactly. And like, can you work out 3 days a week? Like, someone posted a clip of her recently talking to, I think it's Bethany from like one of those reality shows.
Yeah.
And she was like, you can get to a point where you only have to work out 3 or 4 days a week. And Tracy was like, no, you never can. Actually, no, I completely disagree. And I appreciate that so much. Like, it's just the only truth in the fitness industry.
And is that's the truth for you as well?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely find it hard to work out in the morning 7 days a week. So since I've tried to transform into a morning person, I'll take a rest day. But
Suzanne, how is that going, and what strategies have you used to make that transition? Because that's huge.
well, first of all, this is your interview, but I'll answer the question. Um, I think I did it like because I had to, because I just have a lot more evening work because of coronavirus. And it was very stressful thinking about everything I have to do in the evening, and I still have to do my workout.
Uh,
And so someone suggested it, and then really the biggest difference is having a person to either Zoom or like using just the live feature in WhatsApp, which is way more reliable than other apps to be able to video with each other. And having that appointment and a person and the motivation that now I've worked out in the morning almost every day since May, and it still sucks. It's still horrible. I hate it.
I
But
know.
it's so good to have it done in the beginning of the day and to feel like the effects of it. And the days when I don't do it, I'm like furious at people about work, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't work out. Like,
Because I asked, because I am not a rooster. I am an owl by nature.
mhm.
So the idea of switching to before work hours is anathema to me. So I just wanted to know kind of how you'd handle that transition. Because I'm self-employed, I can do it at, I can like make a fist at 7, but not much that. So my body is like able to move at like 9.
Mhm.
So I wake up, work from like 7 to 8:30, and then, get ready for TAM from 9 to 10:30, and then keep going.
Okay. That is probably what I would consider ideal.
Right?
Hard. Like, I wonder some days if I'm gonna like hit myself in the face with a weight. So yeah, yeah. If I could do that. If I could just let my company know no meetings from
Yeah,
9.
no, right.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is it's such a,
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. I mean, whatever. Pick your hard.
Oh, exactly.
Too, but.
Yeah. Kristen has a funny question for you. She says, are you a person who absolutely has to have the last word?
No. I think I was in my 20s. I love that question. That's a really great question. No. Like, I'll hear you. I'll listen to you. I'll hear what you have to say, but I don't need to have the last word.
Mhm.
Like, I know myself now well enough to be able to let you have your own beliefs and understandings and be okay with that.
Mhm. That's very evolved of you.
Well, I mean, I say that, but
It's hard.
and it's hard. It was hard around the election because what does Tracy teach? She teaches us to love. She's trying to model behavior where we're loving and supportive of humans and their needs for health and basic essentials. And I had I feel like if you're in the Tamily, I already love you,
Mm-hmm.
unless you voted for Trump. They're a challenge for me because Black and brown lives are at stake, and that takes precedent over everything, and trans lives and our air and our water, la la la. It was challenging for me around the election, and I hope I handled it with grace and dignity. But I'm always learning, and so not needing to have the last word is hopefully a sign of evolution in that direction of being able to meet somebody where they are, not relate at all to where they are, but still treat them like.
Yeah, that is definitely a very important lesson. And you're totally right. It's about evolution. Like, I hope we don't continue to need the last word and those kind of things, especially far into this journey, because this journey is about like us as people and accepting ourselves and all of that. It's so much more than, exercise and
I
like
agree.
being slimmer. Like that's so not the important thing.
No. And I think you and Nicole have done such a beautiful job of making that very clear from the beginning. So kudos to you both.
Well, thank you. We really just want to bring this community together and get to know each other more, and give everybody a little bit of space to share themselves.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Absolutely. So, Emily has a good question for you. She said, "What is your spirit animal?"
I think Django is my spirit animal.
Oh, that's such a good answer.
He's what I did. He's if a spirit animal is like an entity that you strive to be like, then he's definitely my spirit animal. I get my head stuck up my ass on the daily. Like I have like women on my iPhone that I'm like initiate this. I call it. I'm like initiate the sequence. Like it's like from ass removal time. And Django, I mean, I think that's maybe what adulting is. It's just like 20 times a day. Like, oh, great, that's up.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, Django is, he's around here somewhere.
Yeah, let's meet him.
He is the sassiest. He is an insistent clown.
Okay.
Yeah. And he knows what he wants and he's very clear about it. And he'll ask for what he wants. And he'll ask again and he'll ask again and he'll ask again. And, he's always kind of pushing the boundaries. He'll come at a problem from different angles. He's infinitely curious about things. And I can see that he's scared sometimes, but he kind of pushes through that. He doesn't have any balls. I don't have any balls either. I don't know. I don't know. Django came to mind. Thanks a lot, Emily.
I think that was the greatest answer ever. It was awesome. And it's good you gave an explanation of a spirit animal because some people were asking what that was.
One of someone's advice about being on Ask Tamily was don't forget to look at all the comments that happen because you won't be able to see those in the video. Like I would ever log on to YouTube and watch my own video. But with the fine. No judgment.
Hey, I watched mine.
I watched them all. Watching myself would be weird. But anyway, I can't see any of them. So if you're saying something nice and I can't see you, thank you.
Well, and Nicole sometimes can grab some screenshots because they disappear. There's nothing we can do about it. Instagram is very annoying.
I hear you.
So let's ask a serious question. What would be your advice to someone who's new to the Tamily?
I love this question. I love this question because I think I have a good answer.
Okay.
So my answer to that, to my advice to a Tam newbie is a question. And the question is, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time.
Mm-hmm.
We get better at what we practice, and all you're doing is practicing. You're practicing resilience. You're practicing showing up. You're practicing specific movements. You're practicing taking care of your one precious soul sack. And it's just one day at a time. And if you are stuck or frustrated or cranky, just ask for help from the Tamily because like I said before, we love you already, unless you voted for Donald Trump, but that's just me. And I'm trying to be better about that. So ask for help because we love you already and we're here for you. So don't freak out. Don't freak out. I started with IMC and I started 4 times a week and I probably stopped 10, 12 times. I couldn't finish any of the reps. I just rested when I needed to. And if I needed to reduce or eliminate the weights for the first or second day, I did that. Mm-hmm. And then once I could get through things with stopping 4 or 5 times, then I would add the weights after the second day. And then I would add so then I worked my way up to 5 days a week and then 6 days a week. And then she introduced the chair, and I was like, I love you, chair. I wanted to make out with the chair. I was like,
I hate the chair.
you hate it? Why?
I hate it. I don't know. It seems like it's so much more difficult to me.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Does it not seem like, do you love it because it is more difficult? It doesn't seem more difficult?
It's like leverage. It's like, get in there and like, you know how you're like, you know, yo-yoing? It's like, makes the yo-yo more satisfying to me.
I want to murder the chair.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
We're all different.
Yeah, that's very interesting to me. Yeah, so just how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time.
It's such an important thing. Like, I think that people get so frustrated, like, I can't do this, or, you know, I don't have the balance and all that stuff. It's all part of it. It's all part of the journey. Getting frustrated, figuring it out, all of it. It all goes with it. So
Yeah.
you're going to get there.
Yeah, you are going to get there. But, I mean, you can't compare yourself to someone who's been working at the elephant for 2 or 3 years, you know? So that's the for my newbies is like, either, is it, what's that movie with, Bill, he was in Saturday Night Live, he was in Lost in Translation, Bill Murray. And he's, Bill Murray,
oh yeah.
It's like it's a movie. He's in the army in the movie, and I'll never forget this scene. There's a very, very serious comrade. I don't know, what do you call, like, if you're in the army and there's somebody else in the army next to you? I don't know what you call that.
Army dude.
Anyway, there's a very serious army buddy, and there's a moment. Oh my God, this is such a dumb story. I'm sorry, but there's a moment that speaks to me where the sergeant responds to this guy in the army, and he just says, "Lighten up, Francis." Like, usually if I'm having a problem, it's because I have taken something too seriously. I've taken myself too seriously. I've created drama around my body, which, you know, like every other woman on the planet, is a challenge because we were socialized to hate our bodies. And I don't, you know, doing TAM for 15 months doesn't change what I grew up around. So just like I say to myself, it's just something I say to myself that's really helpful. I just say, okay, lighten up, Francis. Lighten up. Yeah.
That's really, really good advice. I know it seems silly. People in the chat are saying it's from the movie Stripes.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's from Stripes. Right. Yes.
We'll have to watch that. So after you worked yourself up to more days with IMC, then did you go to Attain and you've stayed in Attain?
No, I go back and forth with Attain and IMC, and Susan Rothman does a wonderful. She'll do a couple of days of Attain and a couple of days of IMC, and she's talked to me about that over the months that I've gotten to spend time with her on Zoom. So I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. There's something so satisfying about IMC that maybe because I don't have that, you know, the accessory muscles haven't woken up as much as they will eventually, or, you know, my muscular structure isn't quite, I don't know. Attain feels to me like, roly-poly comes to mind. I ever really perform Attain the way I can perform IMC. I love being able to go from Attain back to IMC. And then, of course, Cassie, who's like ass we would all like kill somebody for, you know, she's like, hey, psst, hey, do you want to do some dance cardio? And the first time she asks, you're like, go away. And then she does, hey, you want to do some? So now in December, I've worked my way up to 17 minutes of, and it is not pretty. I would never post it in a million years.
Oh, come on.
Here's what it feels like. And I know I'm just beginning. Cassie, don't freak out. I'm not going to stop. It feels like, again, with the potatoes, it feels like you're like, you have a 50-pound bag of potatoes and you're trying to like toss it around in like,
and look good while you do it.
but the reason I'm going to keep doing it is because I could feel my brain being like, what?
Yeah.
What? You want me to what? And I was like, oh,
Yes.
we're growing some neurons. I'm gonna be a debate champion when I'm 80.
Yeah, it is very, very good for your brain to do dance cardio, but I hate it.
Oh yeah.
But I've gone through little, spurts of like wanting to try, and certainly people like Cassie and the other, I feel like they're like NFL players when it comes to dance cardio.
Absolutely.
And that is amazing.
Absolutely.
To jump for half an hour. Amazing.
So much respect and inspiration there. You really have no words to describe it. Like, it's just like, I genuflect on the daily. It's beautiful and inspirational and awesome.
Yes. Totally agree. So I didn't ask you this question in the beginning. Did you start, Tracy, from streaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I years ago, I bought Metamorphosis, but I like 2 weeks and then, pulled all the DVDs on eBay. But that must have been, God, was that like 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
I think I probably bought the DVDs from you on eBay. I bought like every Centric. Couldn't get myself into a routine workout until streaming into Tamily, but
I don't know what would have, I mean, I started in October of 2019, COVID hit March of 2020. I wonder what would have happened. There's no changing anything for me now because I get to work out with my sisters. And that changed everything. I mean, that changed everything. As soon as Michelle put those Zooms together, I was doing more reps. I was stopping less. It totally changed my workout.
So do you Zoom every time that you work out? Or
no, that's a great question. I Zoom most days, but I work out 5 or 6 times a week. I'll Zoom maybe like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a regular like group at 9 o'clock. It's like the 9 o'clock East Coast time, 7 o'clock Mountain, 6 Pacific. And on the weekends, I do the 11 o'clock. Sometimes we'll start a little early, but usually it's the 11 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Like today we did arms with Adidas music.
Okay.
And then I did IMC.
Okay. Wonderful. There's a lot of comments in the chat. I don't know if there's questions, so I'm just checking.
Sure.
It just looks like, oh, wait a second. Okay, so Tamming with Quinner says, if you could safely do anything right now, what would you do first and why? That's a really good question.
Thanks, Cheryl. If I could do anything now safely, what would I do and why? I would fly to Paris and I would stay for a month in the 11th arrondissement.
Okay, tell me more about that.
It's a part of Paris. It's a part of town where Parisians live, and I love the Parisian lifestyle. Is you walk everywhere, you eat beautiful food, you don't eat crap. If you're gonna eat, you eat like. I'm still trying to learn how to feed myself at 47, so I stopped hating my body, which is a tiny miracle, but I haven't figured out how to feed myself. So yeah, that's what I would do. And also, I can't eat in the United States because there's something about the wheat we use here that allergic response to. But I can eat wheat in.
Wow. That's
yeah. So either 2 things I figured out. It's either a chemical that they put on the wheat. Here don't put on the in Europe, and I'll bet the comments people will be able to say way more about it than I know. And then the other option is it's a different kind of wheat. It's like it has a short protein chain as opposed to the long protein chain we use here. I don't.
Very interesting scientific answer to that question.
Yeah. Thanks, Cheryl. I got to meet Cheryl this August. I got to meet Sintra and Cheryl.
Oh,
yeah,
that's wonderful. Where did you meet them?
We socially distanced in Chicago in a park.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I remember posting about that.
That was a treat.
That's fantastic. Have you met any other Tamily in person?
I don't think so. We do have plans. Julia Sheppy, I forget what her full. We are all moving to a small German town. Yes. Julia doesn't know. She might know this, but there is excellent wine in her area, and we all love her daughter Sophie. So we all plan to move to a tiny German town when this is over.
That's awesome. We'll have to do Vitality Weeks there or something.
Yeah, I'm sure she can find us a spot.
Okay, we have a question from Natalia. She said, what talent do you have that not many people know about?
Guys, these questions are so good.
They are.
I'm a really good friend.
Aw.
It's taken me a while to learn how to be a good friend, but I am a really good friend. Like, if you are in trouble, I got you. If you need something, I got you. If you just need someone to like hold the bucket, I can. Yeah. It's
a wonderful trait.
What?
That's a wonderful trait.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would know that about me, but I'm proud of, and yeah. Natalia is awesome. Hi, Natalia.
Yeah, she is. My sweetheart. So Plain Tip has a question. What move did you hate that you've grown to love? That's awesome.
I love this question. Another wonderful human being. Cassie helped with this one. So I don't call it other than I call it three-legged dog. So you're in down dog, right? So your palms are on, feet are on the ground, and then you lift one leg up.
Okay.
So I hated those because I didn't realize it, but my shoulders were doing all the work. So you know how Tracy she'll usually start you never start on both knees and end up with one leg in the air. You usually start on one knee and then one leg goes in the air, or she'll approach it from a different angle. But what Cassie explained to me is that it's not, it's your abs that lifts you up. And then instead of like sinking into your shoulders, send your energy back up into your leg. And then imagine your toe is reaching to the opposite, to the corner that your leg is pointed in. So if it's crossed, if it's a cross extension, then it's pointing in that direction. If it's straight back, it's pointing that way. So, and then the abs lower you down. So there's no work. It's not a shoulder move. It's an ab and a back move. So once, for some reason, the way she explained it, I totally, I was like, yeah. And then I could feel it. And so at the end of IMC in the double weight section this week, we do an elbow, palm, and then up, and it's all back.
I love going on the elbow with that move. It's like so much more of a stretch.
Yes, and where do you feel it?
I kind of feel like it's everywhere. Like, I like to think about the energy the way she described. So that it's like all going through you in both directions. Like, I have trouble thinking about like what muscle is this working on. I think more like about my whole body being involved.
That's so smart. It's so smart. Occasionally my husband will work out with me, and he said last time he worked out with me, we were doing an extension like that. And he said, I think I'm getting that, he said, it's a full body move, isn't it? I was like, yeah.
Yes. Perfect explanation.
Yeah.
So plaintiff said, but what if it's a high arabesque? I'm not sure if I understand her question.
I think high arabesque is what I'm calling a three-legged dog. I think it's the same thing. I think that's how Tracy refers to it, and Madison or whoever's breaking down that week. Okay. I think it's a high arabesque.
Okay. Yeah. After all these years, I still don't know the real terms.
Yeah.
Plaintiff also asked, who gives the best Tamily advice on form?
If you do not do what Courtney Lewis says to do, I want you to shut your computer down. I want you to go into a dark room and retrieve that to see what's gone wrong. Take your time. We will welcome you back to the Tamily once you have figured it out.
Yeah, Courtney's amazing.
Whew! And you know, I mean, what an incredible human being, first of all. And then second, that she would share like any of her genius with us. I feel like so blessed and lucky. Yeah. So definitely. Now she doesn't, when I started streaming, she was doing the queuing for Tracy. Right. So, you know, and then she would do the breakdown video. Yeah. And so that's what I started with. Mm-hmm. So I'm forever grateful because, you know, Tracy doesn't want people to be squeezing this or tightening that. She wants it, like you said, to be a movement of energy. And, but at the same time, you know, you are moving your body, and we've been educated to think about our bodies in particular ways. So Courtney's ability to marry, you know, Tracy's language with things that we would understand, I found to be exquisitely helpful.
Yeah, yeah, she is very, very wonderful. I think she's watching this interview right now as well.
No.
Not to make you nervous, but I don't think that you get debate, champ. Yeah, she's watching.
Oh my God! Can we just have a moment to bow down to Courtney Lewis? Courtney!
Yes, we love you, Courtney.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. Ugh. My birthday's in February, and my husband and I don't really do Christmas. I was like, I want you to take all that Christmas love, and I want you to pile it on top of my birthday February love, and I want private sessions with Courtney Lewis.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Right? Yeah. I was like, save your pennies, my friend. It's worth every single one.
Yeah. That is fantastic.
Yeah. I would probably just like cry the whole session, though. That would be like so like, you know, it'd be like meeting a hero.
It would. But she also would just make you feel like it's.
Yeah. Yeah, she would initiate the head from ass removal sequence.
Initiate the sequence. I love that.
First of all, calm your tits. Second.
So we have another question in the chat from Kristen. I don't know if I like really understand this question, but I think that I do now that I'm processing it. She said jungle, barn, or theater. So I think that's about where Tracy does the work.
Just like fuck, murder, marry.
Right.
Let's make it that. Okay, so I would marry the jungle. I would kill the theater. No. I would kill the theater. I would still fuck the jungle. And I would marry the barn. I feel very confident in that answer.
I'm absolutely certain that is not what she was talking about, but that's fine. Plaintiff has another question for you. So you two should definitely have a chat. Hi.
So that's Django.
Aw.
Yeah.
Hi, puppy.
Yeah. You want to say something to your people? Okay. Oh, what else do
You
you
want to play?
That is my spirit animal, people. Yes, Tim.
Oh, he does want to play, and he knows the word play.
Yeah, good boy.
So cute.
Yeah. He has a terrible life. He wakes up every day on his Posturepedic bed, and then he gets to hang out in his backyard, and then he eats food. He eats, like lamb and chicken massaged by virgin unicorns, and I throw the ball for him, and it's a really hard life.
That is the life of my dogs too.
You've got some delicious big dogs.
I do. Yes, they're wonderful. They are now my spirit animals. Now that we interview. Okay, Plaintiff has another question. She said, "How in the world did you convince your husband to tam?"
Oh, he's just an amazing human being. Who, because I was a group fitness instructor for many years, he would come take my classes. So I taught PRX, and it was just, he knows he has to work out too. He's remarkably well preserved. He has that Mediterranean thing, he doesn't come from meaty peasant stock the way I do. So he has like, a history of taking my classes. So
awesome.
Yeah, you guys, he is awesome. He's a gem. What you get from people ebbs and flows, but who they are doesn't really change. He is like the most solid human being. Kind, smart, funny, So I just asked him one day, I was like, "Do you want to do Tracy Anderson?" And he was like, "I don't know." But then, with men, you can't, you have to ask them a question and then come back to it. It's science.
Yeah.
So you ask them a question, you plant the seed, and then you go away, you walk away from the seed, then you come back and you say, "How is the seed?" And they say what they say. And then when they're, when they want to do something, they'll do it. So I just asked him.
That's fantastic. I've asked my husband a million times.
What? I'm sorry?
I've asked my husband a million times. The answer is always no.
He, when we travel, he'll work out. I work out when I travel. I do not, like I said, there's no option. Like, I have to work out. So he'll, he's game. He's like, "Oh, when are we working out tomorrow?" And it helps me though. It's like, if I can't Zoom, I would love to have him on the mat with me.
Aw, that is so fantastic.
He's great. Wait till you meet him. He's great.
Well, we'll have to have a Tamily and Tam Hub meeting somewhere.
Yeah, I would love. Oh, and that's, yeah. Do you talk about that with people too? Like, "Oh my God, when this is over, we're gonna."
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Tamily trips are like the reason for living. And I just went on one in February, and it's like, I probably would have gone on another one a month later if I could have.
Yeah, I'm terrified, about the heat and humidity thing, but I'll just push through. It'll be fine.
Well, plus, we can meet up and go to places that don't have it, but it's really badass to get through a heat and humidity workout at a studio, and I really think you could do it.
Nothing Tracy has presented has ever led me in the wrong direction. So why would this be any different? It's not going to be different. It's just, it's the mental thing, which is what she said that herself, like, it's a little bit mental.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of the moves and stuff that we do are too. It seems like it's difficult, but if you just reset your mind, then you can do it.
Yes. Yeah, there was one attain that had a chair that I did, and I remember it was a rolly move.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a roll to like roll on your back, and then the leg goes up, and then forward and stand up, and then hop up. And the elation that I felt at having like managed to do that was great. you know, I'm 48. Like it was like a 6-year-old doing a somersault. It was so fun.
Yeah, yes, I completely agree. If we didn't do these things where we achieve some weird physical thing, you wouldn't get that feeling from like anything else. And it's like when you get to a certain point, you know, once you really have kind of like mastered the basics, I guess, then you can do these things that seem like, oh my God, that's going to be so hard. And then you do it and it happens. And I'm like, I cannot believe it. Like, I don't know how people get through life without having that feeling.
I genetically, I have great hair and great skin and terrible joints. So, and the joint issues started showing up in my neck first. So, I'm basically like just staving off surgery as long as possible. So like I could never do a headstand thing just because it's like not smart to do it for me. But that she gives us so many opportunities to try different things. It is very, very unique, I think, to the method, and one that I really support. You know, as long as you're listening to your body, and then that's the most important thing, I think, is listening to your body, and then, you know, challenge yourself.
Yes, exactly. That's definitely the secret. By the way, Maggie, I could talk to you for 1,000 hours. We have 8 minutes left.
That's it?
Yes, and I did not ask you like half of these questions. So, what question have I not asked that you want me to ask you?
Oh, I guess the motivational quote question, because
Okay, yes.
That one.
Can you tell us a motivational quote that you have, Maggie?
Okay, it might make some people mad though, but so I just want to say this is what works for me.
That's fine.
Okay.
This is about you today.
Okay. Anytime that I have doubts about, like, you know, when you're on like rep 12,
yeah,
and you're looking up at the screen, like how many more reps? In those moments, I pretend that I have the confidence of an average white man. And often that's all I need to get through.
Okay. I hear that. I can do anything.
Yeah, the world is my oyster.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. If I, you know, it's not a big deal. I am confident. And if I can't do these reps, it doesn't mean that there's anything bad about me. Like, I think we have this thing about people standing in the front of the room and like, you know, you're supposed to do everything they do. And it's not possible sometimes to do everything they do, especially when you're starting out. So, you know, instead of making it personal, don't make, you know, it's not personal. Just find distance, you know, lighten up, Francis. So that's my quote is just pretend you have the confidence of an average white man.
So,
that's a terrible end on.
4 minutes left. We're not ending on that.
All right.
Should I pick another question for you, or do you have another one in mind?
No, that was the only one that like came to mind.
Okay. If you could speak to your 20-year-old self, what would you say?
Leave now.
That's a good one.
Do not stop. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go. Get out. You took nerve, Suzanne. It's like the one thing I can't forgive myself for is being an idiot in my 20s.
But everyone's an idiot in their 20s.
Are they?
Yes.
Really?
A lot of us are idiots in our 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. So, yeah, you have to forgive yourself. But I always like thinking about that question because I would have said Tracy Anderson method.
That's a big that's a better answer, because I bet if I had taken care of myself physically, you know, that I would have had like those moments of reflection or motivation, or you know, just feeling the way we feel strong when we do Tracy Anderson method. That would have helped. Yes. But I would tell my 20, 20, 21, 22, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29-year-old self, get the fuck out now.
That's good advice.
I give good house. I gave good house. I don't give good house anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So in our last few moments, what else would you like to say to the Tamily while you have this audience?
I would like to thank. I debated, you know, when you asked the question like who inspires you in the Tamily, I debated whether I would answer it all with any specific names, because every person in my feed is somebody I care deeply about and want to support and help succeed. I don't follow people without a little recon. And so if you're in my feed, like, I care about you and I want to help you. I want us to be in this journey together. And I don't know how to move forward without, I mean, these are my people now.
Mm-hmm.
You are my people.
Yeah.
So I feel gratitude and lots of it.
Well, we are glad to have you in the Tamily.
I'm glad to be.
It's been a super fun.
Good.
You. That went by very quickly.
It did, didn't it? It went by so fast.
It really did. You have to tell people not to be nervous to be interviewed, because it's really no big deal.
Yeah. Wait, you need me to tell people that?
Yeah, tell them.
Oh, dear people, do not be nervous. Suzanne is kind and warm and patient and easygoing. And you should not be nervous, because it's fun.
So everyone who wants to be interviewed in 2021, send us a message.
Do it. Do it.
Well, thank you so much for being interview 125.
Can I say one thing about can I say one thing about like my personal life?
Yeah.
Okay. I am a brand consultant. If anyone is interested in branding, come see me over on my business Instagram, which is Be Understood Branding. That's all. That's all I want to say.
Excellent. I looked at your website yesterday. It's super awesome.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Good. Oh, I welcome feedback.
It's very, very bold and cool.
That's my brand.
Well, thank you, Maggie, for being interview 125.
Thank you, Susie. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. This is going to go on Ask Tamily right now, and it'll be on YouTube in a few days, forever and ever.
Amen.
Thanks, Maggie.
Do I do anything, or do you do the buttons and all that? Okay.
I'll do the buttons.
I'll just look cute until you press it.
I'll take that as a screenshot. Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.